You think you have time. You think 60 is the new 40, or whatever nonsense they are selling now. You think because you feel relatively healthy, and your mind is still sharp, and your life is finally settling into something manageable, you have decades stretching out ahead of you like a lazy Sunday afternoon. You do not. My name is Evelyn Harper. I am 100 years old. I was born when horses still shared the road with cars. I have seen the Great Depression through my parents' eyes. I have watched men leave for war and never come home. I have seen televisions arrive, then computers, then phones smarter than the people holding them. I have buried my husband, my parents, my siblings, and more friends than I can count without stopping to breathe. And I am here to tell you this: your 50s and 60s are not your coasting years. They are your proving ground. They are your final preparation for a stretch of life that will humble you. What 100 years taught me are 10 lessons I desperately wish I had understood when I was 55 instead of 85. Lesson number 1, your body keeps score. In my 50s, I still felt invincible. I could bend in the garden for hours. I could lift heavy laundry baskets without thinking. I could kneel to play with grandchildren and pop back up like it was nothing. I assumed that was permanent. It is not. After 60, decline is not dramatic at first. Whispers, a sore hip, a slower recovery, a need to hold the railing. And because it comes gradually, you adjust gradually. You tell yourself it is normal. And it is normal. But it is not harmless. By 75, I felt weaker. By 82, balance became a conscious effort. By 88, a fall meant months of recovery. If I could go back, I would treat strength like money in a savings account. I would invest daily, stretch, lift, walk, move, not for vanity, for survival. Build the strength now. You will need it later more than you can imagine. Lesson number 2, expand your circle. In my 60s, I thought I had enough friends. We had dinner parties, church events, weekly calls. I assumed those relationships would carry me to the end. They did not. Funerals became frequent in my 70s, then constant in my 80s. The quiet after losing someone who remembers your youth is unlike any other silence. It is not just losing a person, it is losing a version of yourself. Make new friends in your 50s and 60s, younger ones, older ones, neighbors, community members. You are going to outlive people. That is simply math. Prepare your heart for it by widening it. Lesson number 3, talk about death before it demands the conversation. Wills, medical directives, passwords, burial wishes. I delayed those conversations because they felt grim. I did not want to scare my children. When my husband collapsed in a hardware store aisle at 79, I was grateful we had discussed some things, but we had waited too long for others. Grief is heavy enough. Do not add confusion to it. Death does not care about your discomfort. Speak while you still can. Lesson number 4, retirement exposes you. When I retired from teaching at 68, I thought I would feel free. Instead, I felt erased. For decades, I had been Mrs. Henderson. No schedule, no staff room conversations, no students needing advice. If your entire identity rests on your occupation, retirement will feel like a disappearance. Build interests now. Volunteer. Learn a skill. Nurture hobbies. When the structure falls away, you need something that is yours. Lesson number 5. The healthy years of marriage are fewer than you think. My husband and I were married 64 years, but the energetic, adventurous years were not 64. They were maybe 15. The rest were building, repairing, or managing decline. We assumed we had endless time for travel, for long walks, for spontaneous decisions. We did not. The window for mobility closes quietly. Use it while it is open. Lesson number 6. Forgive faster. I wasted years not speaking to a sibling over pride. Years I will never recover. Death does not wait for you to feel ready to reconcile. It takes people mid-sentence. Being right is not worth being alone. Lesson number 7. Your adult children need your presence, not your expertise. I gave advice when they needed listening. I corrected when they needed comfort. It took me too long to understand that being wise is not the same as being loving. Hold their babies. Sit at their tables. Ask questions without trying to steer the answer. Lesson number 8. Document your life. Memory fades. It does not announce when it leaves. Stories vanish quietly. Write things down. Recipes, family jokes, the way your mother sang in the kitchen, the smell of your father's coat. Your grandchildren will not remember you at 40 unless you leave something behind. Lesson number 9. Fear will not prevent what is coming. I feared widowhood. It came. I feared illness. It came. I feared dependency. It came. And I survived. The things you dread do not always destroy you. They reshape you. Courage is not bravado. It is waking up the next morning and continuing anyway. Lesson number 10. Time compresses. The first half of life feels long because everything is new. The second half moves quickly because nothing surprises you. Years stack on top of each other like folded linens. I blinked and I was 70. I blinked and I was 90. Now I am 100, and entire decades feel like afternoons. Pay attention. Your 50s and 60s are not a waiting room. They are your final great construction phase. You are building the conditions of your 80s and 90s right now. One more thing I did not understand in my 60s. Gratitude becomes oxygen. When you reach my age, small things matter enormously. Sunlight through a window. If you cannot appreciate those now, you will struggle later. Practice gratitude while life is still loud and busy. It will steady you when it becomes quiet. And here is something even harder. Learn to let go of who you used to be. In my 60s, I clung to youth. I resisted change. I measured myself against the woman I had been at 40. That comparison only breeds resentment. You will age, gracefully or angrily. That choice is yours. Now I sit in my daughter's living room. I move slowly. I forget names sometimes. But I am still here. I still laugh. I still feel joy. You are not preparing for perfection. You are preparing for resilience. So listen to a woman who has lived a full century. Lift the weights. Make the friends. Have the conversations. Travel while your knees allow it. Forgive quickly. Write the stories. Love your spouse fiercely. Let your children live their lives. Face fear without flinching. And pay attention to the days, because one day you will look back and realize that your 60s were not the middle. They were the beginning of the end of your strength. And you will either be grateful for how you prepared, or you will wish someone had warned you. I am warning you. You still have time, but not nearly as much as you think.